The purpose of this video is to show you how you can interact with your audience so that if you're using this for distance learning, how to make it more engaging than just a video for the students to watch and make it worthwhile that they're showing up. So one of the first ways that you can set to engage with your audience is at the bottom of your screen of your Zoom window. You should have a tab, whether you're the host or the participant, that says participants. If you're the host, it says manage participants. And if you click on that, you will see the list of who's available. Now, if you have turned this feature on, there will be a menu bar of what's called nonverbal feedback. These are ways that your participants, your students, can indicate things without actually saying it, and therefore interrupting your train of thought. So let's say that I was asking the student a comprehension check, like a simple yes/no question. So I might say, let's see, how might I phrase it? Is the capital of Spain Madrid? And each of the students would then weigh in with either this yes or no. So we have one yes, another yes, and a no. So I can tell that best student and delightful student know where we're going, either that or I can't remember geography. Also possible. And then after I get that idea of the check, I can hit clear all, which wipes all their answers. I can also just do a quick check-in. Is everyone keeping up? They can either hit yes, no, or their other option is go faster, go slower. So how are we keeping up? And I can see by matching that two of the students are ready for me to pick it up. Another one is not so much. Now this is only... Now if we look at what it looks like on the student side, they can also see the same response. They can see who said go slower, who said go faster. And then again, I can hit clear all. Now, what if I have, the other options in the more window, like, dislike, clap, applause, need a break, or just going to be away from the screen. Now, there's one other option that shows up on the participant side of things, and that's called raise hand. Let's say that this student, amazing student, had a question. I hadn't stopped for a comprehension check and didn't want to interrupt my flow, so they would just hit raise hand, and then on my screen that shows that their hand is up. And again, it also shows on all of the participants' screen. So I can see that and go, oh, amazing student, you have a question. What is it? They ask their question, and then either I can lower their hand from here, or after they've raised their hand, the icon changes to lower hand. So let's say they had a question, I kept talking, and then their question went away. They can just lower their hand, and we're all good. Now, if you have students who just like to talk, and you're having difficulty getting through your lecture, you can what's called mute all of them, and then you get to choose whether or not they can unmute themselves. So if you want them, if this is just a temporary like interruption, then they can unmute themselves when it's over, kind of like, stopping them to give a quick announcement. Or if you've tried that and they're still unmuting themselves and continuing to talk and interrupt the class, then you just unselect that. And after they mute themselves, or after you've muted them, you can, as the host, unmute them, but they can't unmute themselves until you unmute them. So that's a way of non-verbally checking in with the class. Another option is down here, the chat window. Now, there are a number of options. Right now, my chat window is set completely open. So I can send a message to everyone. I can send private messages to everyone. They can send private messages to me. They can send private messages to each other, and they can send a public message to everyone. So this first message where it says, hi, everyone, it says from me to everyone, means that everyone can see it. Doesn't matter what student. So if I open up chat here, here we go. Now, let's say that I just want to message someone privately, and I saw that Amazing Student had asked me to slow down before, so I can check in. Are you keeping up with us now? And Amazing Student is the only one who sees it. And they decide to send a message back to me, and again, I see it, but no one else does. But if I sent a message to Delightful Student, Amazing Student doesn't get to see it. So right now, because it's all set open, Amazing Student gets to message Curious Student, and they could be having a conversation that's not disruptive to the class flow, but might still be disrupting the students. So if you have set everything open, you can change your mind later by going to this little drop down here. I could change it so the participants can chat with no one. Like it'll show them anything that I say, but they don't have an option to type anything in. It can be set that they can only chat with me, like ask questions. They have no way to change it. It would just go to me. I can set it that they can only say things publicly, or they can still message me privately. But if they're messaging publicly, it means that everyone's going to see it. Or if you want them to have these kind of back channel conversations, then it opens it up that they can choose everyone, me, or anyone else in the class. Now, you can change the settings to both allow for nonverbal feedback, because that's not a default, and to change your chat settings. You'd go to the website, to zoom.us, log into your account at settings, and scroll down to in meeting basic. This is where you can turn on chat. Whether you want the students to not be able to save the chat, if you're giving answers to a test that you don't want them to be able to distribute, if you want them to be able to privately chat, if you want chats to automatically save, if you want them to be able to transfer files within the chat. So that is another option if you turn it on. Use judiciously. And then, where's the nonverbal? Here we go. Nonverbal feedback is further down in the basic settings, almost down to the bottom. Participants in a meeting can provide nonverbal feedback and express opinions, so that would need to be turned on. So those are the primary ways to interact with your audience in a meeting, and I hope that that was of value to you.